Yeah, started recording. Okay, can you tell me what is the need for segmentation and reassembly? What is the use of
So that it can be transported easily. The emails.
Not exactly. Any other answers?
Sir, can you tell what happens in segmentation?
Well, like, what do you understand from segmentation with that word?
Segments, it is like we are on email, we are splitting up into different small
Forget
segments.
about email. Forget about email. Segmentation basically in computer networks. What we have seen that in the previous semester with computer networks course. Right.
Like TCP segment.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Just what do you mean by segmentation? What you said initially was right.
it is splitting the data into small segments and then regrouping it and making sense out of it. Like we cannot send the full thing at once, no sir. So
Yeah. Why you cannot send full packet at a time sometimes, or full information at a time sometimes? Why? What is the reason for that?
hmm,
So just like we have paging in normal operating system, segmentation is there everywhere. Like it, just like how Sahana said, it is for the easier transportation and for the mails.
Okay, let me consider what Sahana said. What do you mean by easy transportation there? Like, how segmentation, segmentation is breaking up the whole packet into smaller packets and sending it. How does it makes your communication easy?
Maybe it groups certain things and then transports like
sir, that
group.
is how the network is designed, sir. The data frame has certain MTU. Beyond that, we cannot send. So that
Yes, this is what I was expecting. MTU means what? Maximum
transfer.
transmission unit. Okay, so that means you have a protocol. If you are using a protocol, that protocol has a limit in its PDU. PDU is what? Protocol data unit. In its PDU, how much data it can carry, and that minimum data it can carry is called maximum data that it can carry in its PDU is called as maximum transmission unit. Okay, every protocol unit, SMTP, which is used to carry the mail information. So simple mail transfer protocol, SMTP. So that also has a specific range, is exactly MTU, maximum transmission unit. So if the mail what you have written is crossing that MTU, that has to be segmented, and then it has to be sent to the destination. Is that clear? So that's about the segmentation, and once the packets are segmented, obviously it has to be reassembled at the receiver side. Is that clear? Without reassembly, you cannot read it. That's why the reassembly has to be done. Hence, it is the message processing, the last message processing function. Is that clear, students? So segmentation and reassembly. Am I clear about this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just a second. I will share the PPT. So the only pending is Radix 64 in PGP. I will discuss about Radix 64 in the next class because I need to show you a specific picture for Radix 64 for you to understand. That's why I will do that in the next class. Just a second. Can you see my screen, students? Can you see the PPT?
Not yet, sir.
Just a second. Okay, I think it is taking little time, students. Okay, so forget about it. So now I want to know from you whether you have understood or not. What is the difference between a network security and information security, students? Are they same? First question is, are they same?
So they are not same, but they are related. If network is not secured, means information can also be is also not secured.
Okay.
Like information security is what we can do to secure our information, which is like cryptographic hashing and like that. And network security is what the network provides, what the network provider, what services does he provide.
Okay. Any other answer, students? Okay, Priyadarshan, what you said is like can be considered, but not the exact. You are almost there, but not the exact one. Any other answers about information security? What you said is right.
So network security is basically securing the network traffic, so like using firewalls and things like that.
Okay, not exactly. Again, any other answers?
Maybe network security is related to securing the devices present in the network, and information security is the information that those devices send.
Yes, you're right. See, network security means, say, for example, you have an organization, you have like switches, end devices, firewalls. So all these are the components of a network which are being used for transmitting data or for sharing data. So securing all these devices from any kind of attack is basically termed as network security. Is that clear? Your network is secured when you secure protect the devices in the network. Whereas information security is when you transfer your information from a source A to destination B, that information has to go through many devices in between to reach from source A to source B. And how do you secure that information which is in fleet? That means which is being transmitted. Is that clear? So that is called as information security. Am I clear, students? That is termed as information security. So this is the major difference between network security and information security. Is that clear? So say for example, network security, there are a lot of attacks. Can anyone tell me what kind of attacks can be happen to your networking devices?
DOS attacks,
Okay.
denial of service.
Okay, right. The DOS and denial is same, no? Anyway, okay, that is correct.
Can we call SQL injection also, sir? That's basically database attack, but then can we call it as a network attack?
You can. It's a debatable thing again. Why? Because you are actually accessing the information. Anyway, you can call it, no problem. Any other network like attacks? Which types of attacks in network?
Viruses and malware.
Okay. Basically, some attacks like unauthorized access. Is that clear? So which refers to attacking or accessing a network without receiving any kind of permission. So that is unauthorized attack. So this is one of the common type of, you can make a note of it. This is one of the common type of network attack, students, where basically the devices are being attacked by any unauthorized access. So what happens when a device is being attacked? It is not just the data that you are stored in that device is being compromised. It leads to many other like malicious activities. Like with your name, the data can be sent to any other devices, or any communication can be done, which is really a situation where you face a lot of problems. Okay, so man in the middle attack is again unauthorized access to devices is a very serious kind of attack. So the apart from that, as you said, code and SQL injection is also a network security network attack. And then denial of service attack. There are a lot of there are different types of denial of service attacks which happens. So basically, if your network is attacked, what do you mean by denial of service, students? What happens in that? You might have come across this denial of service attack, DOS attacks multiple times. What generally happens with denial of when your network is attacked with denial of service? Can anyone tell me?
So basically, the server is burdened with a lot of requests such that a genuine user can't uh, get his request uh, done, something like that. Like a lot of bots are used, and bot master controls it and sends in a lot of requests and stuff.
Okay. Okay. You are right. So basically, you are burdening some device. Either you might, it's not just burdening a device. Say, for example, sending lot of requests to the server will burden the server and it will slow down the server communication. Denial of service. The other thing is you will there will be the packets, advertising packets, other packets are bombarded into the network in such a way that your network bandwidth is utilized completely, so that the genuine packets will take lot of time to get transmitted in the network. That is again another type of denial of service. Okay, so all these are types of network attacks. But what is an example for information like attack or information security? So basically, can you give me any example where there is an attack for the information which is being in the medium, which is being transmitted? When one very basic example is there, can anyone tell me?
So man in the middle.
It's man in the middle attack or eavesdropping. All these are examples of attacks which doesn't attack your network, but it attacks the packets which is being transmitted in the medium. Okay, so these are some of the examples for uh, six taking your information, not considering your network. Okay, and there is one more important kind of attack. Basically, we term it as insider threat for network. Okay, for the whole network itself. What do you mean by that? Insider threat. Can anyone tell me?
So is it something like social engineering?
Yes, you're right. It's basically someone who already have privilege or privileged access to any organizational system. That particular user uh, uh, actually misuses the privileges. Okay, by compromising with any other organization or um, disclosing the critical information of the organization by gaining access. These kind of attacks are called as insider threats. And again, it is not a technical attack, but that also has to be considered. Okay, so again, all these are some of the types of attacks, and that is how you differentiate between network security and an information security. So which is more concerned, students? Which we have to concentrate more? Can anyone tell me whether securing the network is very important or securing the information is important?
Information, sir. Maybe.
Okay, can you
Because,
justify why securing information is quite important?
sir, because when a network is attacked, there is still a possibility that we don't have any much damage done to information. Just like in denial of service attack, we won't be providing, like the users will be denied the service because of the server getting overloaded, but there is not a huge loss. But then when information is at the stake, then there are it can be disclosed, no, sir. Like if it is sensitive data, then we might lose it also. Like, I think information security we should be very much concerned of. Both are interrelated, sir. But if I have to choose one, I would say information.
Okay.
It also
Any other
depends.
answers?
Yeah, when we are a user, information is more important. But especially when we are a server, network security is important.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Sir,
Any
I
other
have
answers?
a,
Yes.
like a few months back or something, we got a mail where there is something like a PDF which was not a PDF, like it was an image, and we are not supposed to click on it. If we click on it, it directs us to something like it is a malicious attack or something. So I got to know that it is clickjacking. So whether it can be called as network security attack or like information security attack, sir.
See, one thing I would like to tell you, there are attacks which we cannot actually justify that it is exactly a network security attack or it's a information security attack. Okay, say for example, uh, uh, if I want to tell you, yeah, database attack, SQL attack. So basically that one, it attacks the server and also it attacks the information that is there in the server, right? Do you agree with that? So in that kind of situations, it is like attacking both the network and also the information. So you cannot basically exactly tell it is a network security attack or it's an information security attack. So it is both. It is both, I can say. So like what you have to understand is the difference between what is network security and information security. That's what is more concerned. Is it clear, students?
Yes, sir. So even clickjacking comes like in the category of SQL injection.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I hope you have an idea now, like what is the difference between a network security and information security. Okay. So now, yeah, coming back to like Radix 64. Yeah, I told you I want to show you that, but today I may not be possible to show you that. So let me. Now can you see my screen, students?
No, sir.
Still no. Okay. What is the issue here? Just a moment. Just let me know if you can see my screen now.
No, sir.
Okay. Let me see what issue I have later. Okay. So PGP, we were discussing about PGP, like the message processing functions of PGP. For compression, we use zip. For email compatibility, we use Radix 64. And then how Radix 64 works, I will let you know later. Then we have segmentation and reassembly. I have told you what is segmentation and reassembly. Okay, so okay, so next thing is PGP session keys. So what are PGP session key? What do you mean by a session key, students? I have discussed about session key before. What do you mean by session keys? Can anyone tell me?
Sir, it's basically a shared key between two users, uh, which is active only for a certain amount of time.
Okay. So you mean to say it's a symmetric key? That means
Yes,
for
sir.
encryption and decryption, yes, you're right. Session keys are basically, students, uh, it's required for each message what you transmit. Say, for example, you're sending a mail now, a separate session key is used, and later if you're sending another mail, another separate session key is used for that. The session keys are only for that particular session, and it is a symmetry key. That means for encryption and for decryption, you will be using the same key. Is that clear? So we have seen in the previous classes, I have shown you the diagram also, where how to send or how to transmit the session key securely. We know that. So now I wanted to show you the structure of a PGP message, but I don't. Okay, let me come back to that. So what are PGP
Sir,
public and
maybe,
private keys? All, yeah, tell me. Tell me,
sir,
Sana.
maybe you can try rejoining, because in our CIR session also such thing would happen. The sir would rejoin and he would be able to present.
I did it twice actually now. I'm connected in both mobile and laptop. So I'm trying to share it from my laptop. So I couldn't share. I rejoined in my laptop twice, but still it is not working. I don't know why.
Then one of us can present, sir. All of us are presenters.
I have to share you the PPT now. Yes. It's okay. Let me see. This class I will continue as it is. Later, if still it doesn't work, let me see. I think sometimes it happens. Last week also for another class, it happened like that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So session key, that's about PGP. Thank you, Sana. That's about PGP session keys. And what are PGP public and private key pairs? You already know that since many public and private keys may be in use, need to identify which is actually used to encrypt session keys in a message. We already have discussed that. Okay. So do you have any questions about the public and private key pair and session keys, students? Any doubts do you have?
No, sir.
Okay. So there is something called as Pgp key rings. Okay. So there are two types of Pgp key rings. Let me discuss that. Pgp uses that. So each Pgp user has a pair of key rings. Okay. Please keep this in mind, students. Each Pgp user, say for example, in a network there are many Pgp users. Each Pgp user will have a pair of key rings. So the first one is public keyring, which contains all the public keys of other PGP users known to this user, indexed by an ID. Is that clear? Say I have a public PGP keyring. That keyring will have multiple keys of all other multiple keys of multiple public keys of other PGP users who are known to me. Is that clear, students? Say, for example, I have a communication with around 10 other users. In my PGP keyring, I will have all other 10 users public key also. Is that clear? Indexed by an ID. Say, for example, this public key is ID, there will be an ID for it. So that's about public key rings. And what is private key rings? So private key rings contains public private key pairs of this user indexed by key ID and encrypted from a hashed passphrase. Is that clear? So the private key pair will have only its private key. That's all. Is that clear? There is nothing else in that. With a certificate, it also have this public and private key rings. Public key rings will have public keys of all other this particular user, and private key pairs will have only its own public and private key pair. Both it will have. Is that clear? That's about public and private key rings of PGP. So so that's all about PGP students. I want to show you about the Radix 64. It's a very simple topic. There are a couple of problems which we are going to solve in Radix 64 that we will do it in next class. And I have to show you the PGP PGP message, the how the PGP message looks. So that I want to show you. So that will end your PGP concept. But there is an other email security technique apart from PGP. See, PGP is an email security protocol, right? Similarly, there is another email security technique that is called as MIME. Is that clear, students? Have you heard of MIME before?
You have only mentioned about it, sir. Apart from that, I don't.
Okay. So MIME is basically multi-purpose internet mail extension. And if it is SMIME, it is secure multi-purpose internet mail extension. That means MIME has the ability to secure whatever the attachments that you do for the mail also. Is that clear? Whereas your PGP doesn't do that. PGP cannot secure the attachments what you add for a mail, whereas SMIME has the ability to secure the attachments what you do for the mail. Is that clear? That ability is there for SMIME. But apart from that, like how is a MIME secure MIME will have that ability? Whatever PGP does, like confidentiality, integrity, and authentication. For providing all these three, whatever PGP does, SMIME also will do the same thing, but it includes the attachments also for that. Is that clear? That's the only difference. Am I clear, students? The procedure is same. How do you provide authentication? How do you provide confidentiality? How do you provide integrity? All these features are same with SMIME also, but it will include the attachments as well for this purpose or for this work. Is that clear, students? Am I clear to you? But we will discuss again, but we cannot simply stop here itself regarding the SMIME. I will discuss completely about SMIME in detail in next class. So is it clear, students, whatever we have discussed today?
Yes.
Hello? Yes. So again, today there are very less number of students. Why? Is there any placement activity today?
Not now, sir.
Okay. Anyway, can't help. We'll continue in the next class. So when I have told you when you will have the quiz, right? It's on coming Saturday, is it? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
I will share you the slides in some time today, so that you can start preparing for the quiz. There will be only two quiz students, quiz 1 and quiz 1 for your midsem. Quiz 2 is after your midsem. I mean, just before the end semester, we will do quiz 2. And both midsem and endsem will have Viva component with that. So I think we don't have much assessments. It's just because only mid-sem and end-sem, and both have Viva attached to it, and we have quiz 1 and quiz 2. That's why we I mean very much hurry about the quiz. Okay, is it clear? That is your evaluation pattern course. I think most of the courses are following the same, right? Mid-sem and end-sem pattern, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Then we will meet in the next class, students. Take care till then.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.